For tuning in. Today is May 14, and today we're learning solving two-step equations. All right, let's get started, you guys. Let's do this. All right. All right, so this lesson right here is the continuation for part one. Part one was solving equations with one-step equations. This one is solving equations with a two-step equation. So this one is a little advanced, so make sure you have done 2-1 before you tune into this one, all right? So let's go ahead and begin, you guys. I'm really excited to do some of the stuff, so let's go ahead and begin. All right, so here we have a general linear equation, ax plus b equals to c. The x is the variable, the unknown. The coefficient will be the number in front of the variable. And here, this one here, we call that the constant. So the constant is the number that doesn't change, so it's just a number. It could be 3, 4, or 7. But this here is what we're looking for, right? The unknown variable is what we're looking for. Coefficient is just terminology for you. It's just a number in front of the variable. All right, so let's go ahead and go here. All right, so let's continue here. All right, so here's a question, okay? So there's example number 1, and this one here says a plus 5 equals to 12. So as we discussed last time, we said identify the variable, right? That was 2, 1, this is 2, 2. So identify the variable, which is a, and then identify the operation. So the operation is adding 5 equals to 12. 12 is the constant. So to solve this one, we're gonna do the inverse operation. So like I said, find the variable, identify the operation, and then do the inverse. So the inverse of adding will be, see my tiger there, right? So this one will be minus 5. So I do minus 5 on one side, minus 5 on the other one, and then 12 minus 5 will be 7. Circle is 7 right here, so you guys can have them. All right. Feel free to take notes on this one. Pause the video whenever you need to pause it, whenever you need to stop. Let's continue right here. Okay. Let's do this. All right, so here's another one. You're gonna try this one. So go ahead and take out your notebook and go ahead and write this down. B minus 4 equals 15. This, whenever you see the YT, means it's your turn, so your turn to try it, okay? I have confidence that you can do it. Okay, you can do this. Trust you guys. All right, go ahead and do it. Pause the video. All right, I'm assuming you paused the video. Here is the answer. So identify the operation, which is minus 4. Identify the variable, which is b. The inverse of subtracting 4 will be adding 4, you guys. Okay, so we add 4 on both sides, and 15 plus 4 will be 19. Okay, hopefully you guys got that. If you did, just show me a thumbs up. If you didn't, show me a thumbs down. Okay, let's continue. All right, so this one here is, for this one, it is a different beast or different animal. Okay, so we have example number 2. So here, we no longer have an addition or multiplication. I'm sorry, we don't have an addition or subtraction. We have what is called a multiplication. Notice that here, this variable, okay, whenever it's next to a number, that means that this is being multiplied. Although we don't see a operation, it is implied that it's being multiplied. So now, the inverse of multiplying will be division, and this is the part where you guys divide both sides by 3, and C will be equals to what? C equals 9. Boom. C equals 9. There it is. Okay, so 27 divided by 3 equals 9. Thumbs up if you had it right. If not, then it's okay. We're going to try again. Here is your turn. You're going to try this one out. Pause the video, and we'll go from there. All right, I'm assuming you paused the video. I did it too, so you guys can do it. So because we have multiplication by -7, the inverse of multiplication by -7 will be divided by -7. So both of these numbers will be divided by -7. Once we divide both sides by -7, then we will get this operation here, and then my final answer will be b equals -6. Everything we learned in the previous lessons, positive divided by a negative gives you a negative. It's all coming back right here. Okay, so make sure you guys are keeping up with those concepts from before. All right, so this one right here is a little hard one. This is my example number 3. I have variable e divided by 5. So take notes on this one. E divided by 5 is being divided, so the inverse of dividing is multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 5. So here, notice that I multiply both sides by 5. Now here, the 5 and the 5 divide out leaves you with a factor of 1. 1 times e is e, and 3 times 5 is 15. So hopefully you guys got this one. This is my example. Hopefully you understand it. If not, let me know. Just send me a text. Say, hey, Mr. Vasquez, I don't get it. Can you explain it one more time? I'm more than happy to do that, okay? All right, let's continue here. So this one, E is 15. All right, go ahead and pause the video. Do this one right here. All right, I'm assuming you paused the video, you guys. The variable f is being divided by -4. So when the variable is being divided by -4, the inverse will be to multiply both sides by -4. So multiply both sides by -4. Here the variable stays, which is f, and negative times negative is a positive, and 4 times 7 is 28. So my answer here is 28. Pause the video. That way, make sure you're taking all these good notes. These are possible questions to be on the GED, so I want to make sure that everybody's taking good notes, you guys, and keep this videos a store. So, oh, by the way, make sure you're keeping up with the videos. You can also go through the website, and I'll show you at the end of this video, okay? The website is the Testing Adult Distance Learning, okay? I sent you a link already on your email. All right, so let's continue right here. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is a word problem here. The sum of x and 7 is -13. Find x. I wonder how to do this one. The sum of x and 7 is -13. So for this one here, we can actually think of the sum, right? The sum of x. Well, x is my unknown, my variable. And 7 is -13. So here the sum of x and 7 is, that'll be your equal, is -13. So here's -13. Okay, and then you can solve it. I already did it, so I'm gonna go here. There's my x plus 7 equals -13, and I'm gonna solve it. Add -7 to both sides. My answer will be -13 plus -7 will be equals to -20. Wow! -20, you guys. All right, pause the video if I'm going fast. All right, this one is for you to try. We have 3a plus 1 equals to 10. All right, so for this one here, you identified the variable, right? So the variable is right here, which is a. Then I look at this here, it looks like the 1 is being added, so I'm gonna subtract 1 on both sides. Here, I'll do it where you guys can see how to do it. Then I bring down the 3a. And then here, 10 minus 1 is 9. Then one more time, you repeat the steps. Identify the variable here. Identify the operation, which is 3. The inverse operation will be dividing by 3. So I divide both sides of the equation by 3. And then a equals to, what's 9 over 3? 9 over 3 is 3. And this is your final answer. Pause the video, please. Write this down. All right, so here is the work using a little meter here. Do it one more time. Subtract 1 on both sides. 3a equals 9. Divided by 3, and a equals 3. Good job, you guys. Keep it up. Okay, one more for you. If you didn't get that one right, go ahead and pause the video here. Write this down and try it out. All right, I'm assuming you guys paused the video, so let's go ahead and do this one here. Notice that the the minus 4 here is the operation that we need to do. So this is 5b minus 4 equals 21. So now I'm going to do the inverse of subtracting 4. So I add 4 to both sides, add 4 to both sides. So I have 5b equals 225. Then, because the 5b is the 5 times b and b is being multiplied, we're going to divide by 5. Divide by 5, and we get b equals to 5. Okay. Pause the video. Make sure you write this down. All right, so here's another chance for you to try this one here. This one is YT, that means it's your turn. It is your turn. All right, so here we have a -7. Look at this plus 3. The inverse of adding 3 will be subtract 3. So I subtract 3 on both sides. Remember the scale example representation that I gave you. If I take away 3 bananas from one side, take away 3 bananas from the other one, right? Okay, so in this case, I'll take away 3 on both sides. Take away 3 to keep the scale balance. Now I'm left with -7h equals -5. So notice here I have -2 plus -3 equals -5. All right. Now you're gonna see that you have the operation being multiplied by -7. So then you think, what could be the inverse of multiplying by 7? And that's basically the inverse of multiplying by 7 will be to divide by -7. So I divide both sides by -7, bring down the h here, and I get h equals, I wonder what -5 over -7 is. I do know that a negative or a negative is a positive, so I can simplify and say h equals to 5 over 7. And that's it. You can't really simplify the 5 over 7. 5 is reduced to the lowest term. 7 is reduced to the lowest term. They're both prime numbers, and they cannot be simplified anymore. All right, we're almost done right here. Just like a couple more problems, and then we are done. All right, number 7 right here. So here's my example here. This is a little hard, so please pay attention to this one here. Make myself a little bigger here so you guys can see if you could do that. Yeah. All right, so for this one here, pay attention to this one, okay? This is a really good one. So notice that the variable is on the right-hand side, okay? The variables on the right, let's see here. The variables on the right, yeah. The variables on the right, so we're gonna work from right to left this time. Let's do this. So for here, we're gonna do, we're gonna take away this plus 24. So plus 24, the inverse of plus 24 will be take away. So we're gonna do minus 24 on both sides. And on this left-hand side, I get 42 minus 24, and that's gonna be 18. The -18 from the right-hand side, we'll just bring it down, okay? Now, because the -18 is being multiplied by the j, I'm gonna have to divide by -18. So I divide -18 from the right-hand side, and I divide by -18 on the left-hand side. Look what's gonna happen when I do that. So I have a positive over a negative will be a negative right here. All right, so let's continue right here. It looks like we divided by -18 on both sides, and look what happens. So divide by -18, divide by -18. When we do that, we get j equals to -1. The reason we get a negative is because we divide a positive over a negative, and our answer will be -1. Okay, now I have j on the right hand side. You can keep it if you want, but sometimes it's most of the times we like to keep it on the left hand side just because we work from left to right. But sometimes they can give you something like this. Okay, they can put the variables whatever they want in, and if for preference we prefer to put the variables on the left. So here is how I'm going to end up this problem. I'm going to go ahead and do the symmetric property. If a equals to b, then b equals to a. I can do that here. So here, I'll write that down for you guys. So here's the symmetric property. If b equals to a, then a equals to b. That is called the symmetric property. Okay, so symmetric property is basically if I have x equals 3, then 3 equals x. If j equals to -1, then j equals to -1, right? If b equals a, then a equals b. The order here will not matter or change the value of the variable. Okay, we are almost done here, so let's continue. All right, so for this one here is your turn, number 7. So for this one, we have the variable on the right-hand side. So pause the video and try this out. Okay, assuming you pause the video right now, let's go ahead and do this problem. I'm gonna guide you through the steps. So here we have a -7, so then we're gonna do a +8. So let's do +8 on both sides. So we add 8, 13 plus 8 is 21. Let's continue right here. For this one here, we have 21 over 9. That cannot be simplified, so all we do is divide it by 3, which is 7, and divide it by 3, which is 3. So 7 over 3 will be the lowest term, but we're going to do the symmetric property here, so we're going to put the variable on the left and the constant on the right. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So then we will have k equals to 7 over 3, all right? So k equals to 7 over 3 will be my final answer. I use the symmetric property here. Since I have the variable on the right, I can put it on the left and put the constant on the right. That does not alter the answer, so the answer is still the same. Okay, last question here before we finish. So for this one here, this is like your last chance to get it right, you guys, but I'm confident that you guys can get it. So for this one here, you're just gonna look at the -4 here and think of what is the inverse operation of a -4. So for that one, I know the inverse is actually adding 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So here, notice that I add 4 to both sides, add 4. Now here, this cancels out. I'm going to bring down the 8g equals to 16 plus 4, which is 20. So everything else comes down, this cancels out. 8 times g equals 20. Now, notice here that the operation, you don't see what it is, but it is going to be a multiplication. Now, we don't put an asterisk, so we don't put a dot here because it's implied that it's being multiplied. Just think, what is the inverse of multiplication? Go back to the lesson. And this one is actually the division. So we divide both sides by 8. Divide both sides by 8. Here, g becomes equals to, well, this cannot go into, so, but I can reduce it, right? Take half of 20, which is 10. Do it. Half of 20 is 10. And half of 8 is 4. They're both even numbers, so they can still be reduced one more time. 5 over 2. So this should be my final answer. G equals 5 over 2. Okay? Final answer. G equals to 5 over 2. All right. So here it is to finalize. So this here, take half of 20, which is 10. Half of 8 is 4. So 5 over 2 will be our final answer. And let's go ahead and just go to the next slide here. So here we go. G equals to 5 over 2. Okay. And that is it for today, you guys. Keep it up. Keep on learning. And we are done. We will see you guys next week, okay?